All right, all right, all right. Yeah.
What up, Elvin?
What's good? What's good, Dante?
Doing all right, doing all right.
That's awesome,
I
bro.
literally had to just beg somebody to basically do some work with them.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, Sam Medina. Are you in display?
Yeah, yeah. I'm on there. I'm on there.
So Sam did a matching show with somebody who knows out of San Francisco or out of his local area, right?
Okay.
And I was like, I want to get on that. Now, mind you, I don't know if you saw, but I got on somebody else's date match show. So, like, I'm the 2 week reigning champion now. I've won $20, and they do a match game shoot. And if you haven't noticed, I'm trying to get on everybody's podcast
Yeah.
because
Okay.
what I do is a little different. I don't know if you had a chance to look at my website,
Mm-hmm.
but I literally support nothing but non-white comedy. Do you get what I'm saying? Is I book? I mean, women could get on my shows, but I really don't book white guys. You know what I mean? I'm going against the establishment, right? Like you haven't noticed that? Have you looked at what I do yet, Elvin?
No, that's interesting, and I was gonna get into that because you reached out to me the other day, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, Dante Barnett, let's fucking do this. But yeah, I'll definitely check out the website.
But that's the funny part is you know me as the comedian, right? Well,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the comedian isn't anywhere near what Superman is. Do you get what I'm saying? So when
Mm.
we start doing this interview and you hear about what Superman is, you're gonna be like, "Well, fuck! I don't want to interview Dante. I want to know this Superman motherfucker." But anyways, long story short, I messaged her, reached out, right?
Yeah, yep, yep.
And
Yeah.
she's like, "Have I met you?" And I'm like, "No." But everybody can vouch for me, and if you look up Suit Man or me, everybody knows who the fuck I am. And she's like, "Well, I just don't book anybody on my show." And I'm like, "Really, bitch? Like, do you not know who I like? I'm doing you like. There's no how can I put this? There's no way to be humble when you're finally trying to build your brand, right?
Uh-huh.
There's
Yeah.
no what you know what I mean. Dat Fan's not humble. He's done what he's supposed to do. I'm not going to be humble either. I'm the leading producer on fucking Zoom. I do more shows than anybody else. Not mics. I'm talking shows. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
why am I kissing your ass to get on your bullshit show?
Yeah. Man,
You know what?
tell it like it is, man. That's what that's this is what it's all about. That we're gonna definitely get into it.
But you get what I'm saying? Like how many
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
So your story reaches two different ways. My grandfather's legally blind.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so my grandfather actually has never let that stop him from doing anything.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is if you looked up my grandfather's name in the Seattle Times, you will find he was the largest independent newspaper distributor in Seattle, Washington.
Mm.
Okay? Meaning he had every newspaper on the ferry dock, the downtown area for the most part, including the businesses in between and like the federal building and all that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Dante, hold on real quick. Try not to move the phone too much or the laptop because it's gonna pick up a lot of the background noise. Just a heads up.
I
forget.
got you.
Yeah.
I'm just moving right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm about to sit down.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Go ahead.
So, like, it's when they like we got a blind comedian and they were making all these jokes and shit. I really was kind of frustrated because like my grandpa was legally blind, and just because you're legally blind don't mean you can't get a driver's license. Because my grandpa had a driver's license for a while, right? And these people don't even know what legally blind means. You know what I mean? Like you guys just sound fucking stupid. Sorry. So
No.
it's just different.
No, it is, man. It is definitely different. But yeah, fuck, man, we're gonna get into it. First thing first, where's my damn podcast? Shout outs out to all the people that's tuning in. I thank you for just hanging out with us and listening to the podcast. Appreciate you. Shouts out to my one and only sponsors, Anger. Be sure to download that shit. And start your fucking podcast. That's what's up. And shit, man, I need more sponsors. So man, anybody like holla at me, holla at your boy. And yeah, it's up on your various streaming platform. You can check out the podcast on Spotify, all that good stuff, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all that shit. But man, he's firing away. My guess is already like he got his blood boiling already. So he's ready to go and shit. I just woke up like about an hour ago. I had my scrambled egg and rice breakfast, and I'm just barely waking up.
Hey, you
But
got full black eye. I'm ready to go. Let's get this going.
let's get it. Yeah, stand up comedian. I met him on the various Zoom world different shows. I believe the first time I actually seen him, but I didn't see him actually. Like visually, but I heard him. He was I believe we were on the Flappers audition show.
Yep.
He was on the Dat Fans audition show as well, and I've seen his name around. I've seen the Superman production, like he said he was talking about. So we'll definitely get into that as well. From the Pacific Northwest, he's gonna break it down. I welcome you to the show, Duante Barnett.
Woo! Thank you for having me, Elvin. It's funny you say that. My grandpa's legally blind. I think I told you that.
Mhm.
So whenever he'd say it was nice to see you, I'd always heckle him and be like, "You didn't see me."
Yeah.
So,
And
it's funny.
and I was me being a comedian or just whatever, and I always tell people, well, shit, that's not what your mama told me.
Hey, you've already got the see no evil part down. Now we just got to make sure you hear no evil and speak no evil.
Yeah. Man, appreciate you coming on the podcast, bro. Like I said, you reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, like let's get fucking Duante Barnett, and let's get him on the show. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, we'll get, like I said, we'll get into all the other stuff in a little bit. But I'd like to break down like how you got started into comedy and everything. Tell us about it, and then tell us where you're from and all that stuff.
So I'm from Seattle, Washington, born and raised. I grew up in downtown Seattle. I'm not going to lie to you, on medical coupons, on food stamps. I was homeless for a while as a kid, and I really just grew up in the city, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then, my mom wasn't always the best mom or whatever, so she used to go out and get drunk every night and be around town, and I would literally be home alone. And I can remember growing up always watching A&Es in the evening at the Improv and watching, the HBO special when it come out, or watching Def Comedy Jam when it come out. And I always was the jokester. I was always talking shit. I was always around adults, right?
Yeah.
So I was always saying things I shouldn't, hearing things I shouldn't, right? And repeating them, right? Great parenting, right?
Yeah.
About 3 years ago, a little over 3.5 years ago, my mom passed. And when my mom passed, it was a realization of kind of who loved me, what I loved, and really I fell apart. I'm not going to lie to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so one of the things, like when my mom died, it was like I think you go through a mortality phase where you remember you're not going to live forever,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And you start thinking about all the dreams or things you've never wanted to do or wanted to do and you didn't. And one of those things for me was comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew somebody by association that was a comedian, right? And ran their own mic. And so, the first part about, I think, doing comedy and the hardest part is deciding where to go do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you don't know anybody. If you went to a comedy club as a patron, you don't know what it's like as a person, right? And so luckily, I kind of knew somebody who would be friendly and give me a chance. And so I reached out to her and did her show, and I think my first set, I've got it on YouTube. I think I did 4.5 minutes on my first set. And then not only that, but I had forgot some jokes. So after I left the mic, I went back and grabbed it again to tell the other 3 jokes I had forgot, and those did not go well at all. And then on top of it, I didn't know you couldn't do that. I didn't know once you got off, like you're off. I was just like, hey, I'm going to go back. I got a couple more jokes. And, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But the guy that was there is a veteran. His name's Sam Miller. He does a whole bunch of jokes out here.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw the set, and that's pretty damn good. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, that's actually not that bad. He's like, you got a ton of it's not like I killed or anything, but, you've been in enough Zoom mics to see how bad some of these great comedians are, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's just say I did better than most of these Zoom sets we heard, right?
Yeah.
And then I just kind of got the
Yeah.
bug from there. And then I went through a bad divorce and got thrown out of my house, was homeless for like 6 weeks. And in Seattle, you can do 4 or 5 sets a night.
Mm.
And so when I was first homeless, I went and did comedy every day.
There you go.
And for me, my progression as a comic really went up because most people, and I gave somebody this advice the other day, most people want to do comedy where they're funny. I didn't do that. I went everywhere I could go. If you didn't think I was funny, I came back next week. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the challenge, is to get out your comfort zone and find new markets to do your comedy. And so, you know, in that first 4 or 5 months, I think I did everywhere. And then when the new year hit, I really made it a goal to do at least 1 set a day.
Yeah.
And so I've done comedy for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
Which is approximately, you know, a little under 730 plus half, so about 900 days, right? I've probably done 500 sets, if not more.
Man, you have better math than me, bro. So
I'm a human calculator.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. You heard me the other day. I am a jock nerd. Like I did stats for Fox Sports for the football games, and I sat there with pencil and paper.
There you go.
Pen, let me tell you, pen. I don't make mistakes.
There you go. No, that's what's up. No, you know what? I like numbers too. Like me being who I am and stuff, like I have a kind of like a elephant memory, so like I remember certain or a lot of things actually, and then, you know, keep it in my memory bank. So but yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like you said, 2.5 years. So like what year is that specifically?
I started August of 18.
Boom. You know what? I started like a month later. So we started at the same time.
Oh my God. Did we just become best friends?
I know. Soulmates.
I'm half deaf. You're half blind. You can do all the listening. I'll do all the seeing. We'll be fine.
There you go. We're going to rule the world, Duante.
And we're both mixies. Let's do this, bitch.
Yeah, man. No, that's what's up. Okay, 2018. And like you, I definitely caught the bug, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's. I mean, and I mean, like, honestly, like for me, like my early stuff were like really trash, but just to get on that stage, man, like I was like, wow, I can actually do this. I can stand here and you know, try to or you know, make people laugh, and this is, hold a microphone in front of me, like this is what I gotta do. I'm like, fuck yeah, man.
Well, that's the funny part is, I actually, some of my first jokes are still jokes I use.
Nice.
So for a lot of, and that's I don't say the difference, but a lot of people, like you said you had a shit show or a shit set. I can't say that. And I guess that was kind of where, like, this felt natural for me. Like, you've heard my set, my master's joke, my stepmom joke. Those are all our mother-in-law jokes. Those are all originals. Do you get what I mean? So
yeah.
A lot of the stuff that I started out with ended up being the stuff I kept. And it just, do you know what I mean? Like, some people, and I guess that's the biggest message I have for everybody. Just because you suck the first time doesn't mean you don't keep going, right? Just because you were great the first time doesn't mean you're going to be great again.
Yeah.
Because it took me a while to have a shitty set, right?
Yeah.
But when I did, it kicked my ass. Like
that is facts. That is facts.
Like I'm looking right now, and I'm looking. So my first set I did was 4 minutes and 18 seconds. Plus I told you, or 4:41. I went up and did some more. And then I see myself at Jai Tai a couple weeks, like the week later was my first set at Jai Tai. And then I get into my sets where I did another set before I went through to my divorce that wasn't too bad. Mm-hmm. And then I see myself going through being homeless and trying to go, some of those are rough. Yeah. And it's not even just some of those are rough. It's the vernacular. Like every other word was and this is, you know what I mean? Like your transition words, you get better at doing transitions or setups or segues or however they put it. That's a great transition, right? instead of just saying, yeah, so fuck white people, right? Like you transition better than just calling out a racial group. So I got a friend who's Mexican, like, oh, so he's going to tell a racist Mexican joke. Great. Okay, here we go. All right, put your seatbelt on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, buckle up.
Yeah. Grin and bear it, motherfucker. Punchline's coming, right?
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
But those are the things, like the anecdotes, the the uhs, like I can't remember what it is. If I really took a second to listen, I could tell you, but there's just certain things that you know what the fucked up part about this is? That's what I say a lot. And so instead of always saying, you know what the fucked up part is, or you know what I mean? Trying to find different ways, not having to say fucked up all the time to get a laugh. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's a progression. You know, you kind of find out, or you know, take out certain things or tweak certain things to kind of better word it, you know.
Oh, you're not lying. Like I think you've heard my name joke a couple times. The other night I did it, and it went. I started off with, obviously my mom can't spell, and they laughed, right? And that was a great way. I had a white mom of a mixed child from the '80s, and she wanted my name to be special, and they all chuckled because we all know that girl. And no, her hair wasn't cut at an angle, but she did smoke cools, right? And just went into it. And then not only that, but you learn your cadence. Like,
yeah.
I think you've heard my Lady Gang joke. Did you hear me do Lady Gang?
I forget if I heard that.
Where I talk about drinking at the office and all that. And I go, Monday.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
So. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And I'm like, today's Tequila Tuesday, motherfuckers, and all this shit, right? Well, when I first did that joke, I was actually at I didn't do it. I was on an after club date with some other dude and two chicks, and they worked together. And I was making fun of them working at work, right? Drinking at work. And I went, if I'm going to say this on stage, I can't make fun of women. So instead, I made fun of women by joining Lady Gang. You get what I mean? So by joining the group, I'm allowed to make fun of them. But I guarantee you, if I was just like, oh, you women be drinking at work, yada, joke would go nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think you're right. There's a lot of things that you learn that don't even have to do so much with how funny you are. It's how to set up a joke, or maybe somebody gives you a tag, or you learn. Do you know what I mean? And that was I think that's the biggest for me, is learning how to be a better comedian. Not funny. I mean, a better comedian. I don't think a lot of people think about that as far as like being a better person, not what's the word? Stepping down. What do they call it when you joke down or whatever? That's not the way of saying it. Punching down. There you go.
Yeah.
When you're punching down and shit like that. And so those are the things I think I'm doing that are way more important than my content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's and everyone has their own I guess how they go about doing the comedy, but I do agree with you as far as like trying to get better. Obviously we wouldn't be in this if we weren't funny, but and I mean, to be extremely funny, you know, you gotta go at it and you know, make sure that you are funny. But to become a better comic, I agree on that aspect, because you gotta, it's a process, man. Like you know, it's not gonna be an overnight thing. It's gonna take some time. Like I'm you know, we started at the same year, so like I'm still learning. You know, I'm still absorbing and soaking up game, and you know, and trying to become better, and like you said earlier, like the cadence, the you know, the the man. Early on, I did a lot of that shit. Like nowadays, I think I minimize a lot of that. So yeah, it's a progression. It's definitely a process.
And that's the other part is I think for me, a lot of this input and this, what I guess my I guess you could say my conviction in this isn't so much because I'm doing comedy, it's because I produce a ton of shit. So not only am I a comedian and I've got to watch how I do my comedy, but then I've also got to produce shows and make a brand, and having a show that I don't feel is sexist, that I don't feel is going to offend anybody, that I feel like I can share everywhere. And so that's where it's got me working more on some of the other things, you know what I mean? Making sure that I'm, how can I put it? Making sure that I'm not putting on some guy that's going to drop the F word. And I don't mean the one that rhymes with truck, right?
Yeah.
Or
Ones
like
with maggot.
yeah. Or like the girl the other day said her vagina was the R word, and everybody got quiet. What show was I on where that happened? I think it was that show. Were you on there the other Tuesday? No, you weren't on there Tuesday. Yeah, the girl was
No.
talking about how she said the R word, that she was the R word. And, and like nobody laughed. It was, oh, yeah, you don't do that. You definitely can't say the R word anymore. They're called special, right? You know what I mean? But but just, you get what I mean? Like, you laugh, and then just fighting the battle. Like, I don't know if you see some of the shit I deal with, but I'm constantly fighting with white guys who are mad because I'm racist, because I don't want to book white people. And I'm like, I'm one producer out of like 7,000 who makes it a point not to book white people. I wouldn't say.
So you don't book Nico Lukov then? Huh?
I do every once in a while. Don't get me wrong, but you get what I'm saying. And
I know.
Nico even jokes about that. Is, I said I was your token white guys. Yeah, you were. Thank you. And I tell them that I treat them like they treat us, and they can't stand this shit. And they're like, "This is racist," and I'm no. This is just leveling the playing field. You know what I mean? Like, there's one producer who's like, "Hey, Tom, Dick, and Harry, find a different show."
No, it's I like how you put that, level the playing field.
Well, that's, I mean, really all it is. You know, you look.
Yeah.
So let me read to you my next shows. So I got my schedule out, right? So this weekend I do a show called Mixed to Misidentify, the What Are You show. I talked about getting you on here, right? Where it's nothing but mixed people. So if you're Caucasian, you're not getting on there, right? On the 31st, we got Soul Sister Sundays. Definitely not no white guys, right?
Yeah.
I do my own podcast once a month, and not to hate, but I do something different. It's called The Autastic Artist. All we do is highlight.
I've seen that.
We highlight people on the spectrum. So not only are we pay them to do it, right? And long term, we plan on buying their stuff to give out to the fans of the show, right? So nope.
Nice.
Maybe you can get on there, but you got to be special needs. So you're not a cis white guy in power. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Week after that's raw comedy. Ridiculously amazing women, right? The week after that, I did Cupid's Rejects. I have one white guy on there. I've got my buddy Chino. I've got Jessica Roberts, Funky Sam Medina, Daniel DeLucia, Kirk Broussard, who's out of Las Vegas. So he doesn't even really count as a white guy. He's an Italian. You know what I mean? They don't even think they're white anyways, right?
Yeah.
Then the next week, 2 weeks after that, we're going with Dark Brew, which is my black comedy show. The last Sunday of the month, again, we're going Soul Sister Sundays. The weekend after that, then finally, I do Laughing Through Recovery. So a sober show for comedians who have drug use. And guess what? Got a lot of white guys on that show. Got a lot of
white guys have a lot of problems.
But the thing is it's like I won't. It's not that I'm not booking them. It's just you're not my priority. If I go to Flappers, if I go to any other club, right, and I look at their lineups, what am I going to see?
White people.
Is it on purpose? Maybe not. Is it racist? Maybe not. But why is it I can do a whole bunch of shows with no white people and be just as successful and just as funny, but for some reason other clubs can't find us?
Yeah.
And so, like, when I look at these people and they get mad at me, I'm like, is Suitman that great that you're pissed off I won't put you on a show? Because if it is, let me rub my little star on my chest. Let me give you a little pat on my back. Let me get some elbow cream, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you're mad because, you know what I mean? I invest my time, my money into Zoom, my time to go to podcasts to spread the name. Caucasians aren't spreading the Suitman brand. So why am I, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you know, it's your own production, your own way about going about your brand, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing you. So, you know, if they're happen to be mad or pissed off, then you know that's on them. But you know, it's your thing. So you know, you can put on whoever you want. You know, and actually that leads me to my segueing into my next question. What is Suitman production? Let's talk about that. And I was just gonna say, man, I got to get on one of these shows. Man. So, holla at your boy, Duante. Holla at your boy.
So, what's your nationality, Elvin?
Filipino, bro.
Full Filipino.
Full Filipino. I'm blind, so you know.
Fuck. I'll throw you on mixed and misidentified. Even you're probably people think you're more than just Filipino, right? Plus, you're blind, so you are mixed, right? You're not only a minority, but you're just saying, we'll figure it out.
Disabled and visually impaired.
Oh, don't even go there with me. So let's talk about this. So I started Suitman Productions, right? And we're gonna go there because I laugh about I'm disabled. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hearing impaired. Mm-hmm. And you said you were hearing impaired. We're not hearing impaired. There's nothing, man. What the fuck ever? I called myself hearing impaired. You're gonna tell me that I'm calling myself a slur? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So then I did. So my first show ever was actually before Suitman. I was trying to get donations going because I told you I went through a bad divorce. I was trying to get money to see my kids, so I did a show called Make Duante Dad Again. Taking off of the mega thing, right? Make Duante Dad Again, right? I had 25 people on this show. Everybody got 5 minutes, right? And this is going to be a fucking disaster, right? And so everybody showed up, and they'd be like, what time am I on? And I was like, I sent you the email. You're 8:10 to 8:15. What do you mean, what time are you going to fucking be on? Mm-hmm. And I've got spreadsheets. I'll send you. You can see I spreadsheet everything. Should I spreadsheet my fucking vacations? I've got OCD like a motherfucker, right? And people were just astonished that the show ran on time. Yeah. And to me, it was like no big deal. I tell you, 8:10. We started 8:10. What the fuck? And like
professionalism.
Yeah, well, not everybody thinks that way. I'm fighting, right? Not everybody takes it as serious as others, but I grew up in the business world. I'm a salesman. I've got a master's degree. I've taught at college, so everything with me has always been like that. And so they're like, you need to start doing your own shows. And then I was, like I told you, I was doing all the scenes around here for the most part. And around December, I don't know, you've done comedy live, right?
Yeah, I have.
So have you noticed it turns into like a high school lunchroom after a while, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you probably they can't talk bad about you because you're the only blind guy. And if they do, they're assholes. So I'm pretty sure they don't say it too loud about you, Elvin, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. No, I'm the token blind guy for sure. There's like around my area, there's no one else doing it. I mean, maybe there's a sprinkle of people that did it once or twice, but motherfucker, shit, man, I'm 2.5 years into it, so I'm continuing on this path, and nothing's gonna stop me.
But you get what I'm saying. You hit that wall. Everybody wants to meet you at first, and then you're either funny or you say something you don't like, or you don't think they're funny, and now we get into the real comedy scene. Because you're
the honeymoon phase. Yeah,
we're past this. Everything was great the first 4 or 5 months. Month about 4 or 5, and then you're like, yeah, this booker doesn't like me, and why does it always bump me when I sign up? And you know what I mean? So I hit that wall, and in January of 2019, I posted on our local group. I was like, hey, I want to go down to Portland. I found a list. I'm going to sign us up for 5 mics, take a car full. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we went down there, and I went to 5 rooms, and out of 4 of them where we performed, because one of them, they treated us like shit, so we just left, I knocked it out the park. And the last show was for a guy by the name of Hijinks. He's partnered with his wife, Courtney Collins. They run Dirty Angel Entertainment. Every year they do the Northwest Black Comedy Festival. And so this was in January. The festival's every Black History Month. So he's like, we got the 3rd annual Northwest Black Comedy Festival. Come back. I'd like you to be a part of it. So this is a really integral story because I'm in a white market. Seattle's super liberal, super all these things. So and one of the biggest things as a minority that you can face that's going to be a problem with you is a lot of comics, especially alternative lifestyle, think they're minorities. So you have these white LGBTQ comedians. You're already chuckling at what I'm about to say, aren't you? that seem to think that they're a minority like you. And you have to look at them and go, no, you're still white, right? And then they don't want to laugh at your white jokes because they're white and they feel some sort of way, but you're like, you perpetuate a lot of the things I talk about, right? Mm-hmm. So I get down here to the Black Comedy Festival and they fucking love me. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't felt that. And so I did a first set for 5 minutes on the Friday. My left came back. My buddy got 10 minutes, so I was jealous. So I needed 5 more because you know how that works. He got 10 minutes. I need 10 minutes, right? So I get the second 5. The guy barely even wanted to give me 5. Got the best compliment of my life. I did the 5, come off stage, and the motherfucker said verbatim, and I'm going to use some bad language. He said, nigga, if I'd have known you was funny, I'd have gave you more than 5 fucking minutes. And I was like, nah. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's the best compliment. You know what I'm talking about? That's the best compliment you can get.
Yeah, do your time too. Just do
you know
your
what
time.
I mean? You did your time, you set it up, and now you want to be like, I should have gave you more. That's your fault, but I bet you'll remember me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I came back to Seattle with this drive to have a black comedy show.
That's what's
and
up.
So we did Dark Brew at Laughs in Seattle, which is one of our oldest, you know what I mean? Probably one of the bigger comedy clubs we have. And with the parlor shutting down that was in Bellevue, which is like this high upscale thing that was for a couple of years after it shut down, basically is, right? And so this was before I knew anything about producing. I'd never thrown a show before. I'd never done anything, right? And so they give me the Thursday before Memorial Day. Does that sound like a good day to you, Elvin? Why not?
No. It's Memorial
Nobody's
Day.
going to pay to go to a fucking show on a Thursday. They're going out of town that weekend, right? I didn't know that I was getting the scraps. But just like black folks, we take the entrails and make chitlins, right?
Yeah.
So we get over 100 people to Laugh Comedy Club for a black comedy show.
That Thursday?
Yes. They had to cut me a check for 11 fucking hundred. That's what they cut me the check for. I didn't see no books. I didn't see no numbers. So I'm pretty sure I probably should have got paid more. But I didn't know any better, so I took it. You know what the white comedians had the balls to say to me on my scene? Well, Ellen DeGeneres and Hannibal Buress did better. I came back and, they cut us this check and they're like, yeah, Hannibal Buress this, Hannibal Buress that, and Ellen DeGeneres. And I'm like, you guys are some fucking pricks. Like, I just sold out a Thursday before a 3-day weekend with black comedy in Seattle in the white district. We had no shootings, no fights, no issues. And that's all you haters can fucking say. You know what I mean? And so I told the club, I was like, I want to do this show called Def Comedy Jam. Have you heard of it, Elvin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it on your.
You were supposed to say and say all the black people. No, you're not hearing me. It's DEAF. It's for deaf people, you fucker. You didn't buy into the line for me, Elvin. God damn it.
No. I knew it was.
You weren't supposed to know. You're supposed to make a joke for me. You're not jumping on the hook, you bastard. Right? You got to be quicker than that, right? No.
Yeah. No, thank you for ruining the punchline.
Thank you for being so knowledgeable, you son of a bitch. But I had told them I wanted to do Def Comedy Jam, and I wanted to do a show for women, and I wanted to do a donation show, and they were like, I don't know if that's going to work. Like, your black comedy show did all right. No, this was before the show. We did the show. So I think 2 weeks before the show, we had like 6 tickets sold. The week before the show, we had 13. And then we had over 100 people show up. We know how black people are. We're last minute anyways, right? Right? Is secondly, when you're marketing for a comedy show, it builds up steam. So the fact that we had 8 tickets sold 2 weeks prior, it should have been a heads up that, oh shit, these niggas gonna come out. Somebody. But they really didn't care. They were just, we'll see what we have, right? So I sent an email to Columbia City Theater, and I'm like, so I want to do a show called Def Comedy Jam. DEAF. We're going to translate comedy for both a hearing and deaf audience. And I did Dark Brew, and I want to do Holiday Momedy. And then I started coming up with Mixed and Misidentified and all these other shows as we started talking. But I was like, send him this generic email. And the guy responded and was like, in my 30 years in entertainment history, nobody has ever messaged me about doing something for the deaf community. Get your ass in here. Let's figure out how to do this.
Nice.
And so we did Def Comedy Jam. We got, I think it was 65 or 85 people. It was 65 people there. No, 85 people total, and 44 of them had bought tickets saying they were deaf. Mm-hmm. And it was weird because you walked into the room and it was fucking packed, but it was dead quiet.
What's going on here?
And then the businesses around, because it's the Columbia City Theater, so you've got. I told them we're going to have a lot of deaf people showing up. And so when people started signing, I'd get their attention and they would lose their shit. They'd be like, you're the guy. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm the guy. And they'd be like, we're here to see you. I know I don't sign, but I know why you're here. And, you laugh, but like the pizza place, whenever I do a show, they give me a free pizza. We're not talking like fucking Domino's. We're talking the expensive $30 pizza because whenever I do a show, they're getting an extra 40, 50 customers a night. And then when you do a Sunday night show, and you go from regularly making they said they usually make $2,000 The night at Def Comedy Jam, they made $4,500.
Ooh, man. So so this is all under Superman
Mm-hmm.
production already
Yeah, yeah. I
at
had
that
started
time.
Superman Productions. It's not a quote unquote business yet, but yeah, that's my brand. That's my page. That's when I started really being Superman. And
No, that's what. No, that's what's up. No, the salute on that because it seems like you're really, you're not only pushing the envelope when it comes to comedy, but you're really like a go getter. You're making things happen. You're producing shows not only in the Seattle area but online as well. But no, salute on that. I mean, because that takes a lot of time and effort and dedication to do something like that.
nah, I would disagree with you, man. The reason why I say that is because it's become my mantra. I actually produce shows in Boise, Idaho, as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the pandemic, I had reached. So last so the fourth uh, the the fourth comedy festival, Black Comedy Festival, was last February, right before the pandemic hit. Last February, I recorded a cut video. Do you know what cut videos are?
No,
They're on YouTube,
no.
like where they do fear pong or truth or dare with your ex or something crazy. I recorded one of those. I did two shows in Canada. One night, I did two different sets in the same club on back-to-back shows. So I showed I had at least 20 minutes of material, right? And then I went to the Northwest Black Comedy Festival, performed, and then won Best Podcast, where I was basically the interviewee for 45 minutes in front of the whole festival, right? And so I had made friends with these comics from Boise, and I was like, hey, you're not too far away. That's kind of the next market. I already go down to Portland, so getting over to Idaho's next. And I was like, hey, send me your contact information on the clubs you know. They're like, so email this
Yeah.
person, email that person. So I emailed about a Soup Man, and one place said, yeah, we'd like to have you. Let us know when you come in town. And the other place was like, fuck yeah, I love what you do. We're in Idaho. We need more non-white comedy. Get the fuck out here, right? And I was like, yeah. So this is in February. We schedule a show for July. We're thinking about doing 4th of July. And then fucking March hits, and they go, you're not going anywhere. And
Yeah,
so I was talking to
yeah.
the friends, and they're all like, man, you tried. This was great. And so August comes, and I just started at UPS, and I had a little money. And I was like, fuck it. I'm taking this Saturday off. We're going to come over and see you guys. And they're like, well, why don't we have you throw a show in the extra room? I mean, we've got 3 rooms. You might not get a big crowd, but at least we'll throw you a show and see what you can do. And
Yeah.
4 out of the 5 of us that I call light, right, we put on an hour and 15-minute show. And that was so good that they said I could come back once a month. So the next month, I brought Dark Brew back and had 9 comics on stage that were black in Boise. I don't think that's ever happened. And then we came back again in October and rocked it again, right? And we were just starting to get a following, and then they shut down Idaho. And it's like, I don't know, when your message isn't about your jokes, it's about a movement. It's about representation. It's about getting more people on stage that you don't usually see. It's
Yeah.
hard for people to compare. Do you get what I mean? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
for a lot of people, you know what I mean? I just have to tell them that Superman is about more than just me. That's how I know I'm doing the right thing. I'm not autistic. I'm not. Actually, I am a little autistic. I'm not on the diagnosed, but yeah, I'm a little special. But I'm not a woman. I'm not LBGTQ, right? I'm not a black woman either. I have 3 or 4 shows now that I don't have any part of entertainment wise. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm no longer
Yeah.
doing Superman Productions so Superman can get on stage. I'm now doing Superman Productions so other people can get their stage time.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
what's
the
up, man.
transition for me. Like, when we started this conversation, it's like, if you just want to talk to the comic, that's cool and all. But when you learn who the producer is, that's really the guy you want to talk about.
Yeah. 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 And now that's interesting because like how did I know you mentioned that that's you per se in a nutshell, But where do you get that drive? Like how? Like man, yeah. I can't even put it into
It's
words.
funny you
Like
say that.
where do you get that drive to put all that shit together?
So I got I got a friend in town, and they were talking to me about that. Like your drive is just different. Like you, like if I'm not gonna say it, I'm gonna do it. So just
Yeah,
like you, we're gonna end this podcast and let's figure out what show I'm gonna put you on. That's what it's gonna be. What it is. You know what I mean? It's not. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
a lot of people be like, "Oh, so you're booking me for August? Yeah. If you want to be on my next open show, I guess it's August. You know what I mean? A lot of people, well, why do you book it? You either book it, or they'll come, or you book it, you cancel it. But if you don't book it, you don't have anything for people to not go to or go to, right? So, it's a
yeah,
combination of the old Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come, right? And then it's
yeah,
another
yeah,
one of just
yeah,
Nike, just do it. So you take those
yeah.
two mantras and put them together, and that's Superman.
There you go. And you know what? In like a lot of times, well, I can't speak for a lot of the comics and stuff, but just kind of just being in the game for about 2.5 years, and then just kind of seeing certain things like um like it's kind of true. Well, it's true for me. Like I, you know, starting out, I just want to do comedy. Try to get better. Work on your material, all that type shit. And in the back of my mind, I've always thought about like, okay, I gotta put some shows together, but I'm not really comfortable yet. Like I don't know
Man,
the
just
process.
I got you.
Even
When
though,
we get off this, you're gonna be part
yeah,
of the Superman Mentor Group. We're gonna book your next show next month. We got you. Go ahead. You think I'm
yeah, no,
joking? Nah, I'm putting you in the
yeah,
ringer. We
yeah,
gonna book
no,
your next
yeah,
show next month. I got artists for you. I got everything figured out. Go ahead.
definitely. No, we'll definitely talk. But so out here before the whole COVID thing, like in Stockton, there wasn't a whole lot of comedy mics or comedy clubs, and then there was a time where we did started to put some mics throughout the week, and then a lot of people were doing it because Stockton is a small market, and then everyone had to travel to either go do other open mics like in Sacramento or the Bay Area. That was kind of the whole thing. Like everyone would go out there. But as far as Stockton, there was nothing. But eventually, we were able to put a little something like a little our little comedy group, and then we had some mics throughout the week. But and I thought about it, I was like, damn, maybe I should do one. But I never I wanted to do it, but I never, I was a little hesitant at first. But now that we've gone through this pandemic, this whole Zoom thing, like after maybe when things do open back up, I might dive into that whole realm, and putting shows together. And I kind of know now, like 2.5 years in. Like in the beginning, I was like I wasn't sure yet, but I may dive into that part of comedy, putting shows together.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing. I remember when I started reading the comedy Bible, and I don't think I finished it. I got about 2/3 of the way through it. I hate reading. I'd rather get an audio book. But it was, what do you want to do in comedy, right? And I think I don't know if you saw my post in this place, but I was like, there's so many of you guys doing animation. There's so many of you guys doing podcasts. There's so many of you guys doing so many different things that Superman isn't doing, and it inspires me to want to do more.
Yeah, yeah. No, I seen
and
that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
they really, I don't think people really got that I'm a creative person. You know what I mean? Like every show name is mine, every theme is mine, everything. Like even autistic artists, my friends works in the autistic community, who's the co-host, and she's I'm thinking about, I want to talk to you about doing a podcast or something. And so I said, we're going to have a meeting on a Monday. And a messenger is like, so what do you want to have a meeting about? Well, I was trying to figure out what we should do. And I already figured that out. We'll interview artists on the spectrum. And she was like, ooh, I like that idea. I was like, yeah, we'll just call it Beautiful Minds, right? And then my friend threw out the autastic word out there. And then we found out Beautiful Minds is used by a lot of different groups. So it's just the Autastic Artists podcast from now on. But in the matter of 15 minutes, we went from what are we going to do to, okay, here's the idea, and I'll have Jane work on getting us a logo. And so not many people Like my friend that's producing her first show in a couple of weeks, she was totally overwhelmed with how fast the process was. And then I told her, you've got to tell people no, and you're going to put a forum out there, and you're going to get 50 people to say yes, and you're just going to pick 6, and you're going to have to be the bad guy. And there's so many people out there that want stage time, want a chance to perform, want to be able to identify that if you make the opportunity, they'll make it easy for you to run a show. It's just you've got to, you know what I mean, kind of want to give them the stage time. And like in my case, I just want to, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different things. You could be a writer, you could be an animator, you could do improv, you can get on TV, you can do radio. I just learned about voiceover work. They're saying I sound like the Black Seth Rogen. So that's my new thing. Yeah, every time I say that, people tell me, go, hey, you kind of got a point, right? But do you go for the voiceover work next? You know what I mean? Like there's so many different things that we can do that.
Yeah, different avenues, like versus just one lane or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's why like I got into doing a podcast, like because in actuality, like I just recently started doing the podcast again because the pandemic. I was doing it out of a studio. I had my a comedian buddy of mine that was helping me. He was like kind of helping me producing it, mixing it down and all that stuff. And when the pandemic hit, I wasn't doing shit. I was like, damn, I was trying to figure out what to do. Then I found this app, and I was able to just do it myself. Um, record it directly from the app, and then without leaving the house. Um, so I'm happy to just do the podcast again, and interviewing different comedians and people I know, because like yourself, and so it's been
Oh
fun.
no, and that's the best part. Like even in your case, it's getting perspective out there. There's so many people not doing stuff. Like I usually use Anchor for podcasts and stuff. I uploaded all my comedy shows onto an Anchor. So Suitman Productions has an Anchor, not only Anchor website where you can go check. Sorry, I got the hiccups out of nowhere. But a lot of my comedy shows are uploaded on there because I guess somebody played raw comedy. I got my first listen. Somebody actually listened to one of my comedy shows online, right? But that's the whole idea is no matter where people look, I want them to be able to find Suitman content. And if people understood that Suitman wasn't about Duante, like most of what I do isn't about Duante. It's about getting women's voices heard, getting black women's voices heard, getting black and LGBTQ people heard, getting autistic people heard, getting people on recovery heard. I don't align with any of those things. I'm not sober. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, is really understanding that there's so much to offer. And then like even in your case, I don't think you know how inspirational you can be for people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Totally. Because here's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier, like out here, um, obviously, there's a couple of disabled people doing comedy, like in wheelchairs and stuff. But as far as like blind people, like I haven't seen anything. And then that's not a blind joke, people. All right, calm
You should
down.
say I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard. Yeah. I haven't heard anything. But yeah, like, so you know what I'm saying? Like, and I also DJ as well. Like that's my first passion. And like every time I go into something like now, like in comedy, like I'm the token blind guy, and there's no one else. Like I don't have no one to, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't really have no one to turn to as far as yeah, or like my other than my wife or a couple of friends or whatever. But there's no one like me. You know what I mean? Like I can grab and get perspective from. Like I'm going in there. Like shit. Like just everyone else is sighted. So no one knows my story. I have to tell it. I can't have anyone else to tell it. But like I develop and that's where I'm at. I'm trying to develop myself and to promote myself and get myself out there while I'm, traveling and grinding it out, hitting the different mics in different areas, different markets, as much as I can. And a lot of times, I'm doing a lot of work versus someone that is sighted and, started at the same time. And,
You
they're
talking about
not,
me?
you know, no,
I heard what you
no,
said. You
no.
talking about me? Go ahead.
But yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, so when I hear people like, damn, Elvin, like, damn, you're out there, you're really, grinding it out, like, you're putting in the work. So, and that makes me, obviously it feels good. I appreciate that. But still, it's out there. It's obvious. Yes, I'm blind, and I have to keep continuing to push because, like we talked about earlier, the honeymoon phase, that's done with. Like, oh, okay, oh yeah, the blind person, that's cool. I'm gonna have to fight and claw my way from now on. Like, there's no handouts,
You're
man.
past
Like,
those handout mics.
you
I
know,
get what you mean. Like everybody knows who Elvin is. Now
y-
you want to get past that.
yeah, and so, and that's the challenge. Like, and I've always dealt with challenges and obstacles. So it's like, so let's shit. Let's bring it on. I'm gonna still try to get better and grind and keep working hard and shit. I mean, it's not easy, obviously, but there's always that added challenge. But it's not. I'm not gonna
Well,
let it
that's the
stop
thing
me.
is I've been thinking about, and I think I'll let you do it instead of me. Um, but I would challenge you to do a podcast with people with disabilities. And what I mean by that is like you can talk about
Yeah.
your avenue of being blind, but like me being deaf, I didn't really get into that. But I remember when I first started, I didn't notice that I wasn't hearing that well. I just thought
Mm.
I sucked. Yeah,
Huh?
because
What?
when you're on
No.
stage and you're telling the jokes, you're usually behind the speaker and your voice is projecting out in a smaller open mic with 6 or 7 or 8 people. You can't always tell who's laughing at you, right? And I can
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
you know, before I had the confidence I had now, I could do jokes and nobody laugh, and I don't fucking care. I'm still fucking funny. Fuck you, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Just imagine. Uh, it's kind of the
That's
same
what I was
thing with
gonna say. Is
a
that you
blind
need
person
to share that story. You don't get
because
to see their facial expressions.
yeah,
You're not getting the
exactly.
eye
Yeah.
contact. I mean, you're looking at the direction, but you're not
Mm-hmm.
really sure if they're looking at you. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, like, are they laughing?
Am
But
I
you know
getting
what
the
I'm saying?
funny
Like,
laugh?
but yeah, the facial expression, yeah. Are they totally focused on you, or are they looking in your direction? Like, what is it? So yeah, I just don't know sometimes. But yeah, it is what it is, man.
And that's my thing. Like I've like it's not. I don't know if it's so much creative as it is. I just look around and try to see what I'm not seeing a lot of.
Yeah, and you know what too, Dante? Like, I, I've told this to another comic, and like, I'm surprised this doesn't happen too often. And I had a couple incidents last week. I was on Flappers for the Uncle Clyde's comedy contest, and my screen was off. Like, motherfucker! During my set, my screen was off, so all they saw was a virtual background. Like, so I mean, just weird shit just happens, like that, and
I'll give it like
it is
five
what it
minutes. You need
is.
to start it too. Okay, and that's I get it.
But but yeah, man. Shit, like, well, we'll probably wrap it up in a couple minutes here, Dante. Then, man, we're well, before I get to this, couple things. I usually ask this question towards the end of the show, to my guests. Um, and it's your choice. No pressure. You can answer all three. You can answer one, or you can say no. Fuck you, Elvin. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to answer it. Like, whatever. But yeah, the three questions are. I'll break it down to you, and then you can decide after that. Number one, aliens or Bigfoot. Number two, If you weren't doing comedy, what else will you be doing? And number three, what is your go-to food?
So you said aliens versus Bigfoot,
Or Bigfoot,
right?
either way.
You said what was the second one?
If you weren't doing comedy, what else you'll be doing?
And then food.
Num-
Food.
and
Yep.
and the third one is your go-to food.
Oh fuck. Shit. They're both the same question, I think. Is there anything evolutionarily intelligent than us, right? Is there anything above and beyond the human race? Science tells us yes. Is there an exact Bigfoot? Who knows? Does anybody know what the aliens look like? Not exactly. We found microbes and organisms on other planets. Yes, there are aliens. You're an idiot to not think they are. Are they traveling the world? Are they picking up Jethro and doing anal probing every other weekend? I don't know about that, right? But
Yeah.
just from a science mind, you'd be an idiot to not think there's nothing else in the world, in the universe, other than the human race, right? So we'll just leave it at that. Bigfoot,
Yeah.
Bigfoot, Swamp Thing, Nelly, the creature from the Black Lagoon, right? The Loch Ness monster. You can't say whether they're true or not. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of fucking animals out there. Could be, could not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Loch Ness monster could be the giant squid that they said wasn't real until they caught like 20 of them in the last 10 years that are over 100 fucking feet long.
Yeah.
You know that's real, right? So I mean, when we talk about squid attacking ships, and we all thought that was a lie, nah. If there's 100-foot squid, it could attack a ship like that. That's feasible.
They actually did find them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They found them out in the water, so you can't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? So who are we to fucking know? 78% of the ocean is uncharted. You know what
uncharted. Yep,
I know.
Yep. Hell yeah. No, it fascinates me. That's why I pose the question to a lot of the people.
You're closed-minded to think there may not be some creatures out there we don't know about. We keep finding new shit every day, right?
Mm-hmm. And seen something not too long ago that 50% of Russia is uninhabited.
That's like
how crazy is
Australia.
that? 50%?
Most Australia isn't settled.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then
yes. Question 2. If you weren't doing comedy, what else?
I don't think I can do anything else, man. I've been every job I work, I end up getting fired or fucking off. I don't like it. I don't have the passion. I think I'd be a cook. Like if I could really own, if I got all the money in the world, I one day want to have Soup Man Soiree, where it's a comedy club and a diner, and you know what I mean. You come, you pay for your show, you get a meal, you have the jazz club every night's an experience. You know what I mean? Like I love to cook, and so if I could do anything else and it wasn't comedy, but I was chasing another passion, it'd probably be cooking.
Boom, there it is. And number 3, your go-to food.
Fuck anything with bacon.
Nice. I like that answer. There it is.
I'm from Seattle.
I
could have coffee and bacon every day for the rest of my life and not have any issues.
There you go. So Duante, where can they find you?
The easiest one is we've got our own website. Look up soupmancomedy.com. It's got a complete bio on me. It's got our online shows. Who to watch is something I need to work on doing again, but we used to highlight a different person every week. It's got our shop, our partners, our showcases. We've got Black and Proud stickers, which is our Black and LGBTQ stickers. We've got our
Say that.
Not doing it. We've got Soup Man shirts and hoodies. We've got magnets. We've got autistic artist magnets and stickers. We've got all kinds of shit, man. So we're really trying to brand and really get people out there. You can view all our shows on YouTube. We've got 17 shows on YouTube. We've got 6 different podcasts we've been on, plus some of my comedy content and all the footage from the Seattle riots that I did last year are on there as well.
Boom. There you go. So follow him. Support Duante Barnett, Soupman Production. Man, Duante, appreciate you for coming on and reaching out, man. It was a fun and very enlightening time. So,
No
man,
problem, bro.
appreciate it, brother. And as far as my stuff, where's my damn podcast? Yes, yes. Go ahead and share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Talk shit, thumbs up, thumbs down, review it, whatever. But all I want you to do is just spread the word because that's what I'm trying to do. Spread some goodness out into the universe, man. And when I bring a lot of these people on the podcast, these are people that I appreciate and like and respect their hustle, and you know what I'm saying. I, and I met Dante on Zoom, so man, like he's doing a lot of things, man. He just broke it down for you, and he's definitely putting in the work and making things happen. So um, hopefully you guys enjoy it. But yeah, until next time. Where's my
Where's
damn
my damn
podcast?
podcast?
Yeah. Thank you. Peace.